Just a Little Toxic Podcast. We're back. I'm your host, Kold. And make sure you guys hit Let's Win Now today at gmail.com. Once again, hit Let's Win Now today at gmail.com. Special guest right now, Malinda Hodge, who's running for Chatham County's Democratic Board of Elections. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. I've been enjoying talking to all the candidates, and everybody has their why, what they're doing, so I want to know what's making you want to be a part of the political arena.
Well, this is my community. I was born and reared here in Savannah. I've established some really strong working relationships, professional, personal, and otherwise. I've raised my family here. And so what happens in this community directly impacts me and my friendship family circle. Working in the political arena, affecting policy here in this area, it means everything to me.
All right. Now, I know you're running for a Board of Elections in Chatham County. Election talk, in Georgia, I guess for like the last 6 years, it's really been crazy. What would be your role as a member of the Board of Elections?
The Board of Elections oversees the elections process. Everything that a voter experiences, from how their ballot looks, the process that they experience in going in to vote their ballot, everything that's available to them as far as the opportunity to vote. So it's our job to make sure the voting process is accessible to each and every member of Chatham County. If anybody who wants to vote, we have to make it possible for them to vote.
Well, we know what's at stake, going into this election, even going into the future. What's so important about the Board of Elections and having good people on our Board of Elections?
It's critical because the Board of Elections really is the foundation for every other office that's held within the political arena. How that process plays out affects who we elect, how we elect them, and it's a process that has to have integrity. It's critical. It's crucial.
Right.
Yeah.
All this drama going on involving elections and just the state of Georgia right now. What has you running for re-election?
I'm running for re-election because we have unfinished business. We were scrutinized for some of our processes, but the processes were accurate. We did the job that we were supposed to do. There are people who disagree with the outcomes, and so they want to question the process. The process holds up. It's an audible process. All eyes were on Georgia. On a global scale, we became the decision maker. People need to understand that their vote counts. That's something that I heard early on in my tenure on the board. I've served now for about 8 years. And I can remember people saying, well, my vote doesn't count. But we've recently seen with local elections where a winner was separated from a loser by 14 votes. Yeah. We've seen on a national scale where a president was chosen, only a few votes separated our winning president from our losing president. So your vote counts, and we want people to be able to vote their voice. Whether they vote for me or not, I want them to vote.
Wow, so just it's kind of funny because it's like you're running to be a help to the process of the election. So you understand the fight a little bit from the voter side and from the candidate side.
And that's the value of it. I know what it's like to want to get it right. And whenever we have candidates who don't like the outcome, who question the process, I can say to them, I can't let you down. I let myself down if I let you down. This process has integrity. And I'm not saying mistakes aren't made. We make mistakes all the time, but we catch them, we correct them, we have a process to correct them, and they're checks and balances. So it's a process that holds up. It has integrity.
You said this process has integrity. We need integrity back in voting. Yeah, we need integrity back in our election.
It's crucial.
Things are going so left.
Yeah.
But for the people of Chatham, what makes you the candidate to support?
I'm the ace. I'm accessible, I'm collaborative, I'm experienced. People who need to reach me can reach me via email, telephone calls. I get them all the time, whether we're in election season or out of election season. I can work with my colleagues. It doesn't matter if they're Republican. It doesn't matter if they're Democrat. We can work together to come up with policy and to make sure that every voter in Chatham County gets the opportunity to vote. I've done this I mean, I've had experience, not just in years, but it's not name recognition for me, it's service recognition.
Right.
I've worked in my community. I've done what it takes to serve in the position that I serve in. And I've noticed some people in the political arena like the glamorous parts of it, the attention part of it. There can be a lot of ego involved,
Right.
but it's a lot of work.
Right.
And I've done the work. We recently had to lobby against some legislation that directly impacts the elections process. And it's a really brutal, very intimidating process. And you take time out of your, because we have real jobs. We have other jobs where we earn our income. I don't know if people realize what we get, but it's not, it's not anything that's
Can't live.
Yeah. So we have jobs and commitments, but we take the time to put the work in for what we do. I've done that. And so I've enjoyed the service to my community through this position. And I look forward to continuing to serve.
You said something very important that I think voters should think about. You talked about that accessibility, people being able to contact you, email you, call you, because a lot of times, you don't hear from politicians after election time. So that's one of the things that voters complain about. But the accessibility you're talking about, that's what we need. How can people get in touch with you, Malinda Hodge?
You can call. People have my literal, actual mobile phone that I carry. I've had people say, "Is this your number that you answer?" It's my phone number. It's 912-507-2757. People call it all the time, at all hours. I won't name any names, but we have public officials who have questions. They have, they want to know what's going on with their races, and they'll text, they'll call, and I take the call. Anyone will tell you, if you call me, I'm going to either respond immediately or later when I can, but I'm responsive.
This is just a regular person, like regular question. Does it feel weird being on the Board of Elections and running in an actual election?
It does feel weird. There are rules to engagement when you are on the ballot. For instance, I've been able to communicate with our director through email because we manage the operations of the Board of Elections office. So we can communicate through email. I can't go to the actual office right now because I am on the ballot and we're located within a early voting location because voting has started. People can vote now.
Right.
So I can't be there in the office because my presence is campaigning. So if I want to speak with the director face to face, we'll meet off site, something like that. But it's interesting. It's being on the ballot while you're trying to do the work. It's a little more complicated. You got to finesse, but it's worth it. I mean, because again, going back to having this experience, I can speak to a voter's pain when they're like, what are the numbers doing? Where are we? What's happening? And I have a level of compassion because I know what it's like. So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Malinda Hodge, running for Chatham County, Democratic Board of Elections. Let the people know one more time how they can get a hold of you.
You can get a hold of me at 912-507-2757. I also have a website. It's savsquare.com. So you can check it out, look at my background information and things like that.
Hey, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I love this. This was cool.
No, you made it out of that.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Hey, definitely. I'm Just a Little Toxic Podcast. We got more coming up.